Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome to the unlocking of level 69 of the Mastery Pass of Baldur's Gate in Magic the Gathering Arena. And on top of that, I happen to have, I believe, 8 packs of cards. So, let's just get down to it then. And this was basically the reason that I did all of the Let's Playing or playing of Magic the Gathering and grinding of all of those wins, sometimes with a lot of emotions in there, but this was the big goal, to reach as far as I could in this mastery, so the, buying of the actual pass would be as much worth it as possible. And it was a long grind with a lot of work put in it. If I remember this right, it was at least 15 wins each and every week of this. At least one win every day. And for just about the last 2 weeks, it could be 12 days, but somewhere in that ballpark, I did 10 wins each and every day on top of all of that. And especially during that final stretch, it sometimes got a little heated because it was a lot of work and a lot of emotions were felt during the bad days of that. Some days were lucky, some days not so much. And there's also, I believe, every daily quest of that time, of course, and then there was, I believe, one promo code which gave me 3000 XP. So let's go. Let's see what it gives us. Yes. It looks like Minsk Avatar, the Bronze Dragon Minsk Sleeve, 25 full art cards, 4 Baldur's Gate packs, 23 Mastery Orbs, which gives in turn mostly full art cards, and I think it's 5 avatars or something along those lines, 4,000 coins, 10 random mythic cards, 1,200 gems, 4 Goppen packs, draft token, I believe, 4 Kamigawa Packs, 4 Innistrad Crimson Vow packs, 3 Innistrad Midnight Hunt packs. There would be a 4th one, but that's the level 70. It was outside of my maximum ability to reach. Even if I, up until this point, when the time ends, this was the maximum level possible to reach when I started doing the 10 wins per day, like about 2 weeks ago. The silver dragon pet, the gold dragon pet, apparently with an orb underneath those, that's a little interesting. I forget the name of the shadow guy card sleeve. Alright, let's go. Yes.
Fight the good fight. Actually, fight all the fights.
Sure, indeed, yes, let's go. Alright. And that gives us a good bunch of stuff. Okay, first off, Mastery Tree. Let's go and unlock the stuff that we have here so we don't forget to do that. So the full art of the Ancient Copper Dragon. I don't have the card, I believe, yet, but nonetheless, flying whenever Ancient Copper Dragon deals combat damage to a player. Roll a d20, you create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. Right. And then we just start working towards the rest of them. I have 24 left, and that is enough for each and every one. So, let's go. The full art for Ambitious Dragonborn. It's gonna take a long time if I read each and every card, like, word by word, especially because they're full arts and not as such cards yet. that is an interesting looking avatar for sure. It's one of the cooler ones, I think, off the set. I think Will is maybe the most, coolest look. Blazel is, I think, easily a good second. Beyond that, it's touch and go, but they're nice enough. Let's say a shared third. Gate to Manorborn. Full art. Let's go. Looks nice. Nice and easy. Let's do. Next up. Oya Minartok Polar Werebear with a Mystic Skyfish and 16 other spellbook thingamathings. For reasons I don't quite understand, is that it's cycling the spells in twos for reasons that I don't really know, but that's fine. Not sure what's up with that, but I'm sure they're all pretty. Okay. Wilson Bear Comrade. I believe that's one of the loading screens of the current thingy. Yeah, for some reason the more info thing seems slightly glitched today. Not really sure what to say about that. Like, it's just it jumps in like twos for some reason. Ancient Bronze Dragon. There we are. Elder Dragon. And all sorts of good stuff. The D20 dragons are really, really, really powerful. I have had my issues with them while grinding for those wins, that's for damn sure. Flaming Fist Officer. There we are. And the Astarion Avatar. There we are. Gate to the Citadel. Looking good right there. Perfect. And next up... Vladimir and Godfrey. Legendary creature Zombie Knight. I can get behind a Zombie Knight. That seems like an interesting take on the concept. I don't know if I have that card yet, but... well... maybe one day. Clement Novice Acolyte. I'm a little bit surprised that the full art does not extend to the specialized form. Or if something's up with that. But yeah, it jumps forward in twos when I'm right-clicking for more information. That's weird. And that was the problem with the Polar Bear as well, but it wouldn't give me the other ones because there's a even number of the spellbook stuff there, but this one's odd, so I eventually get to see all 5, okay. But yeah, the full art doesn't seem to extend to those. That's a little weird, but okay. Ancient Gold Dragon, here we go. Alright, like yeah, the actual created token is a full art like it should be, but for some reason the Clement it's not. Go figure. Alright, Dragonborn Looter, I believe it was called. Yeah. Nice. All the, like, watery and mystic stuff looks pretty good in full art. I like it. It's nice. Gale Avatar. I've seen Gale a good bunch of times in the win grinds, for sure. Gale and Astarion are probably the 2 I see the most, but I've seen all 5 from time to time for sure. Gate to Sea Tower, enters the battlefield tapped, so and so and so on, the usual stuff, yeah. I need to go and start seeing about using gates in my land stuff, because I do have Baldur's Gate, the actual land card as well, so that's pretty cool. But it utilizes gates to be good, so... Kalim Jin Emperor full art. This is a wordy card, and I'm still kind of sometimes I need to relearn what it exactly does. It conjures up copies of itself into the deck, like, over and over and just... Cool. Seems interesting. Imo and Trickster Friend. Yeah, same thing. The specialized forms don't get a full art. That is odd. Interesting. But yeah, I'm always, like, I'm a huge fan of the Baldur's Gate games as such. Like, especially 1 and 2 that I played as, I think I was a teenager at that point. So every, like, creature and person and so on I recognize from Baldur's Gate games. I'm like, yay, awesome, cool, let's go. And Ancient Silver Dragon. Nice. That is a look. Damn. Alrighty, and Hook Horror. I actually do have at least 1, possibly more of these. I'm quite sure. I got 1 in a quick draft not too long ago. I don't remember if I have more. Shadowheart. Yeah, I thought there was the word shadow in there, but yeah, Shadowheart. There we are. And Gate of the Black Dragon. This one I do have for sure. Again, a quick draft thing from the recent past. Yeah. Looks good though. Excellent. The Hourglass Coven. Now I'm not sure. I've seen this played a bunch. Like, from time to time. I'm not sure if I have that though. I'll need to see if I can find out. But this one I do have. I have I think at least 2 of Shadowheart Shadow Cleric. Interesting. Cool. And just the final one, Ancient Brass Dragon. Let's go. I don't have any of the Ancient Dragons yet as a card, but maybe one day. We'll see. Awesome. There we are. There we have it. All Mastery Orbs used up and gotten all of the rewards from there. Cool. Good. Next up, let's see. So, I wonder, like, do the random stuff... Yeah, here we are. Okay. So, apparently I have 2 Nalia Diarnis. Legendary creature, human rogue. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, and Wizard spells from the top of your library. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain Death Touch until end of turn. I'll need to get into the idea of doing, like, full party stuff one of these days, but curious. Alright. 2 of those I got. And then I got 2 of Gale, Conduit of the Arcane. Legendary creature, human wizard. Specialized for 2. When Gale, Conduit of the Arcane enters the battlefield, if you cast it, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Right. And then specialized forms are whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery, draw a card, then discard a card. And then the extra info is whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, create a 1/1 white Pegasus creature token with flying if it's a white and blue. The first one was like just blue. Next up, blue-black. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life. Blue-red. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Gale, Storm, Conduit perpetually gains creatures you control get a +1/+0. Alright. And green-blue, instant or sorcery spell, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Alright. And I actually got 2 of the big dragons from that. That's pretty good. Ancient Silver Dragon. Hell yeah. Whenever Ancient Silver Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. Draw cards equal to the result. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Ow. Ooh. That is a bad boy right there. Or a girl. I actually wouldn't dare to go check which way it goes. But or which way it is, but yeah, that is a good one. Damn, son. It's a touch expensive, but there's ways to make dragons less expensive. So, plus blue is a pretty good one to draw at least cards, and I think they're not terrible at creating mana either. So, I think it's gonna be pretty useful. Next up, Storm King's Thunder. Instant. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell X times. You may choose new targets for the copies. This turn. Right, so it's a minimum of 4 mana to be, like, copied once. In the right spot, though, that it could be real good, though. Bit of a late game thing, though. Okay, Lukamina, Moon Druid. Legendary creature, Human Druid, Wild Shape, Specialized 3. Activate only if you control 6 or more lands. When Lukamina Moon Druid enters the battlefield, if you cast it, seek a land card with a basic land type. And bear form. The green bear form is Trample, and other creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Trample. When Lukamina bear form dies, it unspecializes. If it unspecializes this way, return to the battlefield tapped. Okay. And the rest of them is green-white is Hawk form. Flying lifelink, when it dies, it unspecializes. If it unspecializes this way, return to the battlefield tapped. Okay, so it's just... Oh, well, as I say that. Green-blue, when this creature specializes, tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls. That permanent doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Lukamina Crocodile form. When Lukamina dies, then the usual unspecializing and returning to the battlefield tapped. Okay. Scorpion form. Death Touch. Lukamina Scorpion form must be blocked if able. When Lukamina dies, it unspecializes. If it unspecializes this way, return it to the battlefield tapped. And red-green wolf form, Menace. Whenever this creature specializes or attacks, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. When Lukamina dies, yeah. Alright. Man, those specialized cards are wordy and hard to often remember. 2 of those. Alright. And 1 Ancient Bronze Dragon. Flying, whenever Ancient Bronze Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. When you do, put X +1/+1 counters on each of up to 2 target creatures where X is the result. That is quite something. Yeah, these 2 are really nice. I've encountered a number of... Like, there's one that creates, like, treasure tokens, and one that creates 1/1 dragon flyer tokens. The 5th one, we saw it just now in the mastery tree, but I've forgotten. Verdant Rejuvenation. Sorcery. Seek X creature, enchantment, and or planeswalker cards, where X is the highest mana value among creatures you control. Put those cards onto the battlefield. Yikes. I mean, yeah, it's 8 mana and everything, but... So it's real expensive, but... Ooh. Wow. That is quite something. If you get the mana to do that, that is an ouch. All right. So those mythics, I'm not too disappointed on these. No, I was hoping for like basically at least 1 ancient dragon I got to, or the D20 dragons rather, and I got 2. So that's pretty nice. And like my big fear was like all blue, because I usually don't play blue, but then again with the silver dragon that could change. I might need to craft another one of those if I do that though, but still, that's pretty cool. That is honestly quite something. Alright, good. And then to the packs, which is, yeah, 8 + 5 + 5 + 5 + 4. Let's start with the from oldest to newest. That seems probably not too bad. Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Okie dokie. Stormrider Spirit, Flash Flying 3/3 Creature Spirit, 5 mana. Diregraph Horde, 5 mana zombie. When Diregraph Horde enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black or 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. When you do, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. Alright, 3/4 creature. Alrighty. Stuffed Bear, 2 mana, colorless artifact, and ability for 2 mana. Stuffed Bear becomes a 4/4 green bear artifact creature until the end of turn. And there's a Hobbling Zombie card with a alchemy form and a standard form. Death Touch, when Hobbling Zombie dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Okay. And the difference between... Yeah, the alchemy card is 1 mana cheaper. Otherwise, it looks like it's identical. Yeah, okay. Common wild card, Dryad's Revival, green sorcery. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Flashback for 5 mana, usual, and normally for 3. Lunar Frenzy, red, X mana plus 1 red. Target creature you control gets +X+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn. Okie dokie. And we have Florian Voldaren Scion. Blue and red, 3 mana total. Legendary creature, Vampire Noble. First strike. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the total amount of life your opponents lost this turn. Exile one of those cards and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may play the exiled card this turn. Cool. Alright, next up. A lot of firsts. Lamphold Harrier, red 2 mana creature wolf with an ability of 4 mana. Target creature can't block this turn. 2/2 creature. Raise the Effigy, instant 1 red mana. Choose one. Destroy target artifact. Target attacking creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. Green Bird Admirer, 3 mana. Human Archer Werewolf creature. With a reach, daybound 1/4. And transforms into Wing Shredder. Reach, nightbound 3/5. The others being... the day and night, yeah, cool. Eccentric Farmer, 3 green. Well, 2 colorless, 1 green, but... creature, human peasant. When Eccentric Farmer enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. 2/3. Okay. Electric Revelation, 3 red instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards. And flashback for 4 mana. Okay. Dryad's Revival, we saw this once already, I think. Thermo Alchemist, 2 red mana, creature, human shaman, defender. Tap for Thermo Alchemist deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, untap Thermo Alchemist. 0/3 creature. Alright. Reckless Storm Seeker. 3 red mana creature, human werewolf. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until the end of turn, daybound. And the night form, Storm Charged Slasher, creature werewolf. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains trample and haste until end of turn, nightbound. Alrighty. And here we have blue 4 mana Gale Drifter, creature Hippogriff, flying, disturb for 5 mana, 3/2 creature. And the transforms into Whale Drifter, Hippogriff Spirit, with flying. If Whale Drifter would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Right. Green Bounding Wolf, green 3 mana. Creature wolf, flash, reach, 3/2 creature. Candlelit Cavalry, 5 green mana. Creature Human Knight, Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, Candlelit Cavalry gains trample until the end of turn, 5 and 5 creature. Alright. Green Shadow Beast Sighting, 4 mana, sorcery. Create a 4 and 4 green beast creature token, flashback for 7 mana. Okay. Black Crawl from the Cellar, 1 mana, sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target zombie you control. Man, like, black is so good at this. That is cheap. Green Burly Breaker, 5 mana. Creature, Human Werewolf, Ward 1 and Daybound, 6 and 5 creature. Transforms into Dire Strain Demolisher, Creature, Werewolf, Ward 3, Nightbound, 8 and 7 creature. Damn. That is a heavy hitter. White Odric's Outrider, 4 mana. Creature, Human Knight. Whenever Odric's Outrider or another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And rare Sun Gold Sentinel, white, 2 mana. Creature, Human Soldier. Whenever Sun Gold Sentinel enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Coven, 2 mana. Choose a color. Sun Gold Sentinel gains hexproof from that color until end of turn and can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. Alrighty. Next up. Let's see. Ooh, got a rare wildcard from the thingamathing. And blue Drownyard Amalgam, 5 mana. Creature Zombie Horror. When Drownyard Amalgam enters the battlefield, target player mills 3 cards. Ability for 3 mana. Drownyard Amalgam can't be blocked this turn. A 3 and 6 creature. White Candle Trap, 1 mana. Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature casts Defender. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by enchanted creature. Coven, 3 mana. Sacrifice Candle Trap. Exile enchanted creature. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. And red Tavern Ruffian, 4 mana. Creature, Human Warrior Werewolf, Daybound, 2 and 5 creature. Transforms into Tavern Smasher, Creature, Werewolf, Nightbound, 6 and 5 creature. White Morning Patrol, 3 mana. Creature, Human Soldier, Vigilance, Disturb for 4 mana, 2 and 3. Transforms into Morning Apparition. Creature, Spirit Soldier, Flying Vigilance. If Morning Apparition would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead, 2 and 1 creature. Red Neonate's Rush, 3 mana, instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a vampire. Neonate Rust deals 1 damage to target creature and 1 damage to its controller. Draw a card. Okie dokie. Uncommon wild card, and the other uncommon is red, play with fire, 1 mana, instant. Play with fire deals 2 damage to any target. If a player is dealt damage this way, scry 1. Ooh, and a mythic, Sigarda, Champion of Light, green and white, 4 mana, legendary creature, angel, flying, trample. Humans you control get +1/+1. Coven. Whenever Sigarda attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a human creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Ooh, that is quite something for sure. Okay, next up into Innistrad Crimson Vow packs. Let's go. Okay, white Estwald Shield Basher, 4 mana, creature, human, soldier. Whenever Estwald Shield Basher attacks, you may pay 1 mana. If you do, it gains indestructible until end of turn. 4 and 2. Creature. Supernatural Rescue, 4 mana, white. Enchantment Aura. This spell has flash as long as you control spirit. When you cast the spell, tap up to 2 target creatures you don't control. Enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+2. Right, good. White Nurturing Presence, 2 mana, Enchantment Aura, Enchant Creature. Enchanted creature has, whenever a creature enters a battlefield under your control, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. When Nurturing Presence enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Red, 4 mana, Wary Prisoner, creature, human, werewolf, defender, daybound, 2 and 6 creature, transforms into Wrathful Jailbreaker, creature, werewolf. Wrathful Jailbreaker attacks each combat if able, nightbound, 6 and 6 creature. White Heron Blessed Geist, 5 mana, creature, spirit, flying. An ability for 4 mana, exile Heron Blessed Geist from your graveyard. Create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Activate only if you control an enchantment and only as a sorcery. Blue Witness the Future, 3 mana, sorcery. Target player shuffles up to 4 target cards from their graveyard into their library. You look at the top 4 cards of your library, then put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And red Runebound Wolf, 2 mana, creature, wolf. Ability for 4 mana and tap, Runebound Wolf deals damage equal to the number of wolves and werewolves you control to target opponent. And the main is rare blue and red Eruth Tormented Prophet. Blue and red. 3 mana, right, yeah. Legendary creature, human wizard. If you withdraw a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library instead. You may play those cards this turn, 2 and 4 creature. I honestly forget if the music is supposed to play while I'm in this mode, so I'll just check right quick if it needs to, like, reset, or if it just is that and it's fine. Yeah, I thought it wouldn't, because this seemed more familiar. That was, yeah, the game glitched out on the audio department. Oh well. We got it back, though. Okay, so green. Dawnheart Disciple. 2 green mana. Creature, human, warlock. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, Dawnheart Disciple gets +1/+1 until end of turn. 2 and 2 creature. Red Lightning Wolf. 4 mana. Creature, wolf. Ability for 2 mana. Lightning Wolf gains first strike until the end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. 4 and 3 creature. Pyre Spawn. Red, 6 mana. Creature, elemental. When Pyre Spawn dies, it deals 3 damage to any target. A 6 and 4 creature. Black Unhallowed Phalanx. 5 mana. Creature, zombie, soldier. Unhallowed Phalanx enters the battlefield tapped. 1 and 13 creature. That's an interesting one. I've seen that before. It's like, okay, cool. Curious stats with personality. Common wild card and white Ollenbock Escort, 1 mana. Creature, human, cleric, vigilance. Sacrifice Ollenbock Escort. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains lifelink and indestructible until the end of turn. I've actually been hoping to get this. It's kind of late for it, but now I have one. It's actually I could actually find use for this for sure. Red Lambhold Raconteur. 4 mana. Creature, human, werewolf. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Lambhold Raconteur deals 1 damage to each opponent. Daybound, 2 and 4 creature. Transforms into Lambhold Ravager. Creature, werewolf. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Lambhold Ravager deals 2 damage to each opponent. Nightbound, 4 and 4. And the rare wild card is from the main card. That's pretty cool. Really cool, actually. That's a lucky break. And an uncommon wild card from the circles there. Black Pointed Discussion, 3 mana, sorcery. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, then create a blood token. Alright. Blue Cradle of Safety, 2 mana. Enchantment Aura, flash. Enchant creature you control. When Cradle of Safety enters the battlefield, enchanted creature gains hexproof until end of turn. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Red Belligerent Guest, 3 mana. Creature, vampire, trample. Whenever Belligerent Guest deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token, 3 and 2 creature. White Fierce Retribution, 2 mana. Instant. Cleave, 6 mana. Destroy target attacking creature. And and the cleave cost takes the attacking away right there. Green Rural Recruit, 4 mana. Creature, human, peasant, training. When Rural Recruit enters the battlefield, create a 3 and 1 green boar creature token. And white Angelic Quartermaster, 5 mana. Angel Soldier creature, flying. When Angelic Quartermaster enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures. And red and white Markov Waltzer, creature, vampire, flying, haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 2 target creatures you control each get +1/+0 until end of turn. 1 and 3 creature. And the main card is Blue Dream Shackle Geist, 3 mana. Creature, spirit, flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1. Tap target creature, or target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Alright. And next up. Blue Serpentine Ambush. 2 mana instant. Until end of turn, target creature becomes a blue serpent with base power and toughness of 5 and 5. Colorless Honored Heirloom, 3 mana, artifact. Tap for add 1 mana of any color and 2 mana and tap for exile target card from a graveyard. Right. Red Weary Prisoner, we've seen this one just recently, we can go past. Heron Blessed Geist. I think we saw this one as well. Yes. Black. Grisly Ritual. 6 mana. Sorcery. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Create 2 blood tokens. Another Markov Waltzer. And we get a... This here is a Sigardian Paladin. A green and white 4 mana. Creature, human knight. As long as you've put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature this turn, Sigardian Paladin has trample and lifelink. And an ability for 3 mana of 2 colors of green and white. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains trample and lifelink until the end of turn. And the alchemy version is 1 mana less expensive in both casting and the ability, but it has 1 less toughness. Still, the alchemy version seems maybe more powerful, but I'm not unless I'm missing something. Okay, and the main card is Red Creepy Puppeteer, 4 mana, creature, human, rogue, haste. Whenever Creepy Puppeteer attacks, if you attacked with exactly one other creature this combat, you may have that creature's base power and toughness become 4 and 3 until end of turn. And it's a 4 and 3 creature. Right. And the next Crimson Vow pack is green, Weaver of Blossoms, 3 mana. Creature, human, werewolf. Tap to add 1 mana of any color, and Daybound, 2 and 3 creature, transforms into Blossom-clad Werewolf. Creature, werewolf. Tap, add 2 mana of any 1 color, Nightbound, 3 and 4 creature. Alright. White, Piercing Light, 1 mana, instant. Piercing Light deals 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, scry 1. Alright. Evolving Wilds land. Tap, sacrifice Evolving Wilds, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. This is the, the usual stuff. I actually don't have this specific Evolving Wilds, though, so, there is that. Another Weary Prisoner, colorless Wedding Invitation, 2 mana, artifact. When Wedding Invitation enters the battlefield, draw a card. Tap, sacrifice Wedding Invitation. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. If it's a vampire, it also gains lifelink until the end of turn. Uncommon Wild card, another Runebound Wolf. We saw one just before. And the main card is...
A world of ghosts to hunt. This'll be fun.
It is Kaya Geist Hunter. 3 mana, white and black, legendary planeswalker, Kaya. Hell yeah! +1. Creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature token you control. -2 ability is until end of turn. If 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. Nice. And -6 is exile all cards from all graveyards, then create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying for each card exiled this way. That is a pretty cool one. I don't have many standard planeswalkers, just the starter ones, and I think the blue... No, that's not a... Well, it's no longer standard, I think, very soon, the Mordenkainen. But yeah. Oh, and there's a red one, I forget the name, but ooh, hell yeah, that is awesome. All planeswalkers are just they are finds. Okay, next up we're going to the 5 Kamigawa packs. Let's go. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty rather, and we got the mythic wild card from the circles there. Red Ambitious Assault, 3 mana, instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If you control a modified creature, draw a card. Right. Green, Season of Renewal, 3 mana, instant. Choose one or both. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Right, okay. Well, I mean, both, if possible, would be the best choice, surely. Blue, Network Disruptor, 1 mana. Artifact, creature, Moonfolk Rogue, flying. When Network Disruptor enters the battlefield, tap target permanent. Blue, Tamiyo's Completion, 4 mana. Enchantment Aura, flash. Enchant artifact, creature, or planeswalker. When Tamiyo's Completion enters the battlefield, tap Enchanted Permanent. If it's an equipment, unattach it. Enchanted Permanent loses all abilities and doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Words. Yes. Green, Master's Rebuke, 2 mana, instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. White, Sky Blessed Samurai, 7 mana. Enchantment creature, human, samurai. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each enchantment you control. Flying, 4 and 4 creature. Alright. White Blade Blizzard Kitsune, 3 mana. Creature, Fox Ninja. Ninjutsu for 4 mana and Double Strike, 2 and 2 creature. And the main card is... Wow! The Mythic Blade of the Oni, 2 black mana. Well, a black card, 2 mana, one of them, yeah. Menace. Equipped creature has base power and toughness 5 and 5, has menace, and is a black demon in addition to its other colors and types. Reconfigure 4 mana. That is pretty cool. There's something sinister about a black mythic. Alright, Bloodfell Caves, black and red land. Bloodfell Caves enters the battlefield tapped. When Bloodfell Caves enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. And either a black or a red by tapping, the usual stuff. Red Gift of Wrath, 4 mana, enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature as long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +2/+2 and has menace. When Gift of Wrath enters the battlefield, create a 2 and 2 red spirit creature token with menace. There we are. Colorless Brute Suit, 3 mana. Artifact, vehicle, vigilance, crew 1 is a 4 and 3 creature if you crew it. Guardians of Oboro, blue, 3 mana. Creature, Moonfolk Samurai. Defender. Modified creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have Defender. 3 and 4 creature. Common wildcard. And then Secluded Courtyard, land. As Secluded Courtyard enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Add 1 colorless mana. And the other tap ability is add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type or activate an ability of a creature or creature card of the chosen type. And another uncommon land of Mech Hanger. Land, either tap to add colorless mana or tap add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a pilot or vehicle spell. Right. And 3 mana and tap, target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Right. And the main card is... Ooh. That is a hard to use one, but let's go. The white, blue, black, red, green, the Kami War Saga. Okay, so step 1. Exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls. Step 2. Return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then each opponent discards a card. Step 3. Exile this saga, then return to the battlefield transformed under your control. And the transformed is Okagachi Made Manifest. Enchantment creature Dragon Spirit. Okagachi Made Manifest is all colors. Flying, trample. Whenever Okagachi Made Manifest attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in your graveyard. Return that card to your hand. Okagachi Made Manifest gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the mana value of that card. Interesting. Right. You need a... I don't usually do multicolor decks beyond 2, but... well, I mean, I suppose if I manage to, like, make a deck with a lot of treasure mana, I don't know. Oh, wow. Damn. That is quite something, though. Next up. Scoured Barrens. White and black, you gain 1 life and enters the battlefield tapped land. The usual. White Seven-Tail Mentor. 4 mana. Creature Fox Samurai. When Seven-Tail Mentor enters the battlefield or dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle that you control, 2 and 3 creature. Red Kami's Flare, 2 mana, instant. Kami's Flare deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Kami's Flare also deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. Red Kindled Fury, 1 mana, instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Colorless Ninja's Kunai, 1 mana, artifact equipment. Equipped creature has the ability of use 1 mana and tap, sacrifice Ninja's Kunai. Ninja's Kunai deals 3 damage to any target, equip 1. Blue Reality Heist, 7 mana, instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 artifact cards from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Colorless Runaway Trashbot, 3 mana, artifact creature construct. Trample. Runaway Trashbot gets +1/+0 for each artifact and or enchantment card in your graveyard. And the main card is the Mythic White Owl the Dawn Sky, 5 mana, legendary creature, Dragon Spirit, Flying Vigilance. When Owl the Dawn Sky dies, choose 1. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put any number of non-land permanent cards with total mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Or put 2 +1/+1 counters on each permanent you control that's a creature or vehicle. Whew. Man, 2 mythics in a row. And the circles gave me an uncommon wild card. Tales of Masters Seshiro, green, 5 mana, Saga. Step 1, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains vigilance until end of turn. And step 2 is the same thing. And step 3, exile it into, and transform it into Seshiro Living Legacy. Enchantment creature, Snake Warrior, Vigilance Haste, 5 and 5 creature. Alright. Red Simian Sling, 1 mana, artifact creature, equipment monkey. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever Simian Sling or equipped creature becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to defending player. Reconfigure 2, a 1/1 creature. White Imperial Subduer, 3 mana, creature, human samurai. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, tap target creature you don't control, 3 and 2 creature. Green Geothermal Kami, 4 mana, creature spirit. When Geothermal Kami enters the battlefield, you may return an enchantment you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain 3 life. Common wild card. Blue Replication Specialist, 5 mana, creature, Moonfolk Artificer, flying. Whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that artifact, 3 and 4 creature. Blue Prosperous Thief, 3 mana, creature, human, ninja, ninjutsu, 2 mana. Whenever 1 or more ninja or rogue creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, 3 and 2 mana. And the main card is the rare, the Dragon Kami Reborn, green saga for 3 mana. Step 1, you gain 2 life, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Exile one of them face down with a hatching counter on it. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Step 2 is the same thing. And step 3 transforms into Dragon Kami's Egg. Enchantment creature, Egg. Whenever Dragon Kami's Egg or a dragon you control dies, you may cast a creature spell from among cards you own in exile with hatching counters on them without paying its mana cost. 0 and 1 creature. Okie dokie. And next up, Tranquil Cove, land, white and blue, gain 1 life, enters tapped. Blue, suit up, 3 mana, instant. Until end of turn, target creature or vehicle becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness of 4 and 5, draw a card. Blue, Moonfolk Puzzle Maker, 3 mana, artifact creature, Moonfolk Wizard, flying. Whenever Moonfolk Puzzle Maker becomes tapped, scry 1, 1 and 4 creature. White, a Ganjo Exemplar, 2 mana, enchantment creature, human samurai. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn, 2 and 1 creature. Black Okiba Reckoner Raid, 1 mana. Step 1, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Step 2 is the same thing. And step 3 becomes Nezumi Road Captain. Enchantment creature, Rat Rogue, Menace. Vehicles you control have Menace, 2/2 creature. Green, Boon of Boseiju, 2 mana, instant. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among permanents you control, untap it. And white Imperial Recovery Unit, 3 mana, artifact vehicle. Whenever Imperial Recovery Unit attacks, return target creature or vehicle card with a mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Crew 2, 3 and 4 creature if you crew it. And the main card is...
Once my partner's plan is complete, I'll have what I want.
Mythic Tezzeret, Betrayer of Flesh, blue, 4 mana, legendary planeswalker Tezzeret. The first activated ability of an artifact you activate each turn costs 2 less to activate. +1, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. -2, target artifact becomes an artifact creature. If it isn't a vehicle, it has base power and toughness 4 and 4. -6. You get an emblem with whenever an artifact you control becomes tapped, draw a card. Maybe I should just start playing blue since I have this and Mordenkainen. I don't know. Damn. Alright, and then up to Kappen. Yeah, Streets of New Kappen. Let's go. Riveters overlook a land where it's basically evolving wilds. You get 1 life and look for a either swamp, mountain, or forest card, but they need to be basic. And then put it onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle that stuff. Blue Witness Protection, 1 mana, enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a green and white citizen creature with base power and toughness of 1 and 1 named legitimate business person. It loses all other colors, card types, creature types, and names. Green Prize Fight, 2 mana, instant. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Create a treasure token. Attended Socialite, green, 2 mana. Creature, elf, druid. Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Attended Socialite enters gets +1/+1 until end of turn, 2 and 1 creature. Cabareti Courtyard. Well, land. When Cabareti Courtyard enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for a basic mountain, forest, or plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, and you gain 1 life. So the same thing as the other land there, but just different colors. Uncommon wildcard, and then Cormella Glamour Thief, blue, black, and red, 4 mana, legendary creature, vampire rogue, haste, 1 mana and tap, add blue, black, red. Spend this mana only to cast instant and or sorcery spells. When Cormella Glamour Thief dies, return up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And the main card is a mythic rare wild card. Hell yeah. Damn, that is nice. I've been pretty lucky on this set, I think. I don't know like what's the average to expect, but it feels lucky. And the circles gave me a rare wildcard. Obscura Storefront, again, same thing with the +1 life land thing, just different colors. Colorless Halo Scarab, 2 mana. Artifact creature insect. 2 mana, exile Halo Scarab from your graveyard, create a treasure token, 2 and 1 creature. Black Murder, 3 mana, instant, destroy target creature. Simple and to the point. Red Mayhem Patrol, 2 mana, creature Devil Warrior, menace. Whenever Mayhem Patrol attacks, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, blitz for 2 mana. Common wild card. Red Pugnacious Pugilist, 5 mana, creature Ogre Warrior. Whenever Pugnacious Pugilist attacks, create a tapped and attacking 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target, blitz for 4 mana, 4 and 4 creature. Red, Unlucky Witness, 1 mana, creature, human citizen. When Unlucky Witness dies, exile the top cards of your library. Until your next end step, you may play one of those cards, 1 and 1 creature. And the main card is Jax's the Troublemaker for red, 4 mana, legendary creature, human warrior. 1 mana and tap to discard a card, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, activate only as a sorcery. Blitz for 2 mana. 2 and 3 creature. Blue, Majestic Metamorphosis, 3 mana, instant. Until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes a 4 and 4 angel artifact creature and gains flying. Draw a card. Red, Ready to Rumble, 5 mana, sorcery. Choose 1. Ready to Rumble deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact. Green, Rock's Pummeler, 6 mana, creature, Rhino Soldier. Rock's Pummeler enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. Rock's Pummeler has trample as long as it has a shield counter on it. 6 and 3 creature. Blue, Make Disappear, 2 mana, instant, casualty 1. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. Blue, Sewer Crocodile, 6 mana, creature, crocodile, 4 mana, ability. Sewer Crocodile can't be blocked this turn. Its ability costs 3 mana less to activate if there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard. 4 and 6 creature. Uncommon wild card. And Black Dusk Mangler, 7 mana, creature, horror. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, discard a card, or pay 4 life. When Dusk Mangler enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. 5 and 4 creature. And the main card is Red and Green Black Market Tycoon, creature, cat, rogue. At the beginning of your upkeep, Black Market Tycoon deals 2 damage to you for each treasure you control. Tap to create a treasure token, 2 and 2 creature. Red, Daring Escape, 1 mana, instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until the end of turn, scry 1. Land, Blue and White, Skybridge Towers. Enters tapped, and 4 mana and tap to sacrifice Skybridge Towers, draw a card, and just tap for the 2 colors. Either or. Black, Join the Maestros. 5 mana, sorcery, casualty 2, create a 4 and 3 Black Ogre Warrior creature token. And Black Maestro's Initiate, 3 mana, creature, human citizen, 5 mana of different colors of, one is either blue and red, the others are 4 of any. Exile Maestro's Initiate from your graveyard. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card. 3 and 1 creature. Red, Green, and White Rakish Revelers, 5 mana. When Rakish Revelers enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Ability of 2 mana. Exile Rakish Revelers from your hand. Target land gains tap to add red, green, or white until Rakish Revelers is cast from exile. You may cast Rakish Revelers for as long as it remains exiled. 5 and 3 mana. Darling of the Masses, green and white, 4 mana, creature, elf, citizen. Other citizens you control get +1/+0. Whenever Darling of the Masses attacks, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Colorless Cement Shoes, 1 mana, artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+3 and has, at the beginning of your end step, tap this creature. Equipped creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Equip 2. Main card is
Towards the fight. I'm ready.
Elspeth Resplendent, 5 mana, white, legendary planeswalker, Elspeth. +1, choose up to 1 target creature, put a +1/+1 counter and a counter from among flying, first strike, lifelink, or vigilance on it. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a permanent card with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield with a shield counter on it. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. -7, create 5/3/3 white angel creature tokens with flying. It is also a part of the starter set, so it's not a great thing to get, but it's a planeswalker, so you know. And I mean, having 2 of them in the deck I play is obviously not a bad thing, though. Okay, Prize Fight we've seen. Riveter's Overlook, again, the same land stuff with from 3 different colors and +1 life and that stuff. Red, big score, 4 mana, instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draft 2 cards, and draw 2 cards, and create 2 treasure tokens. Blue, Psionic Snoop, 3 mana. Creature, human rogue. Flash, when Psionic Snoop enters the battlefield, it connives, 0 and 3 creature. We saw Maestro's Initiate. Green, Take to the Streets, 5 mana. Sorcery. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. Citizens you control get an additional +1/+1 and gain Vigilance until end of turn. Summon Choose again, and main card is... white, green, blue, 3 mana, but can be cast with only white as well. Rigo, Streetwise Mentor. Legendary creature, Cat Citizen. Rigo, Streetwise Mentor enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. Whenever you attack a player or planeswalker with 1 or more creatures with power 1 or less, draw a card. 2 and 2 creature. Alright. And then to Baldur's Gate. These I'm the most excited about, because Baldur's Gate is, you know, as I mentioned, one of my favorite game series of all time from my teenage years. Black Demogorgon's Clutches, 3 mana, sorcery. Target opponent discards 2 cards, mills 2 cards, and loses 2 life. Black Vampire Spawn, 3 mana, creature vampire. When Vampire Spawn enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Black Guildsworn Prowler, 2 mana. Creature, Tiefling, Rogue Assassin, Death Touch. When Guildsworn Prowler dies, if it wasn't blocking, draw a card, 2 and 1 creature. And the alchemy version is 1 and 1 creature. Beyond that, it looks like it's the same thing. Black Nefarious Imp, 3 mana, creature, imp, flying. Whenever 1 or more permanents you control leave the battlefield, scry 1, 2 and 1 creature. Common wildcard. Blue, Gate to Sea Tower, land, island, gate. Gate to Sea Tower enters the battlefield tapped. 4 mana and tap to seek a non-land card, activate only once, and tap to add blue, as one would expect. Split the Spoils, green, 3 mana, sorcery. Exile up to 5 target permanent cards from your graveyard and separate them into 2 piles. An opponent chooses one of those piles. Put that pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Piles can be empty. Alchemy version is 1 mana cheaper. Main card is... Black Intellect Devourer, 4 mana, creature, horror. Devour Intellect. When Intellect Devourer enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand until Intellect Devourer leaves the battlefield. Body Thief. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled with Intellect Devourer. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. 2 and 4 mana. 2 and 4 creature, rather. White Icewind Stalwart, 4 mana, creature, tiefling, warrior. Protection, fighting style. When Icewind Stalwart enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-warrior creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, 3 and 3 creature. Red Giant Fire Beetles, 3 mana, creature, insect, menace, double team, 2 and 2 creature. Black Eyes of the Beholder, 6 mana, instant. Target creature gets -11/-11 until end of turn. Alchemy version is 1 mana cheaper. Red Dragon's Fire, 2 mana, instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand or choose a dragon you control. Dragon's Fire deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you reveal a dragon card or chose a dragon as you cast the spell, Dragon's Fire deals damage equal to the power of that dragon or creature instead. Green, Follow the Tracks, 3 mana, sorcery. Conjure a card of your choice from Follow the Tracks' spellbook onto the battlefield, which is every gate, like gate to the Citadel, gate to the Sea Tower, gate of the Black Dragon, gate to Tumbletown, and gate to Manorborn. You know, seek a non-land card in each one, and tap to add the 1 mana of each color. Black Cast Down, 2 mana, instant. Destroy target non-legendary creature. And the main card... and uncommon wildcard. And the main card is rare Mirum Sentinel Worm. Or Wurm. Green, blue, red, 6 mana. Legendary creature Dragon Spirit. Flying, ward 2. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. 6 and 6 creature. Alright. Okie dokie. Blue Timora's Invoker, 2 mana. Creature, Orc, Rogue. Sleight of Hand, 8 mana. Draw 2 cards. 1 and 3 creature. White Valiant Farewell, 2 mana, instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. When that creature leaves the battlefield this turn, you get a boon with when you cast your next creature spell, it perpetually gets +2/+0, draw a card. Blue Rime Shield Frost Giant, 5 mana. Creature, Giant Warrior, Ward 3, 4 and 5 creature. Red, you find some prisoners, 2 mana, instant. Choose one, break their chains, destroy target artifact, or interrogate them, exile the top 3 cards of target opponent's library. Choose one of them. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Blue, Contact Other Plane, 4 mana. Instant. Roll a d20, 1 to 9, draw 2 cards, 10 to 19, scry 2, then draw 2 cards, 20, scry 3, then draw 3 cards. Red Dragon, red, 6 mana, creature dragon, flying, Fire Breath. When Red Dragon enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to each opponent. Green, Druid of the Emerald Grove, 4 mana. Creature, Dwarf Druid. When Druid of the Emerald Grove enters the battlefield, set your library for up to 2 basic land cards and reveal them. Then roll a d20. 1 through 9, put those cards into your hand, then shuffle. 10 through 19, put one of those cards onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand, then shuffle. 20, put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Main card is rare green Traverse the Outlands, 5 mana, sorcery. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. That's pretty effective. Okie dokie. Green Gnoll Hunter, 2 mana. Creature Gnoll. Pack Tactics. Whenever Gnoll Hunter attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, put a +1/+1 counter on Gnoll Hunter, 2 and 2 creature. Nefarious Imp, we saw that. Green Sylvan Shepherd. 3 mana. Creature Human Druid. Vigilance. Whenever a Sylvan Shepherd attacks, roll a d20. 1 through 9, you gain 1 life. 10 through 19, you gain 2 life. 20, you gain 5 life. 2 and 3 creature. Red Faraday's Fireball, 5 mana, instant. Faraday's Fireball deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, roll a d20. 1 through 9, Faraday's Fireball deals 2 damage to each player. 10 through 20, Faraday's Fireball deals 2 damage to each opponent. Common wildcard, Black Grim Wanderer, 2 mana. Creature Goblin Warlock, Flash. Tragic backstory, cast the spell only if a creature died this turn, 5 and 3 creature. Minthara of the Absolute, white and black, 4 mana. Legendary creature, Elf Cleric. Starting intensity 0. Creatures you control get +X/+0, where X is Minthara of the Absolute's intensity. Whenever one or more permanents you control leave the battlefield, it perpetually increase Minthara's intensity and the intensity of cards named Minthara of the Absolute in your hand, library, and graveyard by 1. This ability triggers only once each turn. 2 and 4 creature. White Archivist of Ogma, 2 mana. Creature Halfling Cleric, Flash. Whenever an opponent searches their library, you gain 1 life and draw a card. 2 and 2 creature. Alright. And colorless Iron Golem 4 mana artifact creature. Golem, Vigilance. Iron Golem attacks or blocks each combat if able, 5 and 3 creature. Green, Poison the Blade, 2 mana instant. Target creature gains death touch until the end of turn. Draw a card. White, Valiant Farewell, 2 mana instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Oh wait, oh yeah, we went through this. Priest of Ancient Lore, 3 mana, Dwarf Cleric creature. When Priest of Ancient Lore enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life and draw a card, 2 and 1 creature. Red, Warriors of Tiamat, 5 mana, creature, Dragon Warrior, haste, double team, 4 and 2 creature. Lulu, Forgetful Holophant, 3 mana, white, legendary creature, Elephant Angel, flying, specialized for 2. When Lulu, Forgetful Holophant enters the battlefield, you get a boon with when you cast your next creature spell without flying, it perpetually gains flying. It's a 1 and 3 creature. Specializing into white. Flying, whenever you attack with 1 or more other creatures with flying, you gain twice that much life, 2 and 4 creature. White and blue, whenever you attack with 1 or more other creatures with flying, draw that many cards and discard a card, 2 and 4 creature. White and black, whenever you attack with 1 or more other creatures with flying, each opponent loses that much life and you gain that much life, again 2 and 4. Red and white, whenever you attack with 1 or more other creatures with flying, create that many 1 and 1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. And green and white, whenever you attack with 1 or more other creatures with flying, those creatures get +2/+2 until the end of turn, and all specialized forms are of course flying as well. Colorless Navigation Orb, 3 mana artifact. 2 mana and tap, sacrifice Navigation Orb, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or gate cards. Reveal those cards, put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand, then shuffle. And the alchemy version is costs 1 less for the actual ability in the card. Okay. Another Gale Conduit of the Arcane. We saw this when we read the thing in the mythic bits, because we read this when we checked what mythic card we got. That is 3rd one of those. That is, man, that is interesting RNG with those for sure. White, you're ambushed on the road, 1 mana, instant, choose 1, make a retreat. Return target creature you control to its owner's hand, or stand and fight, target creature gets +1/+3 until the end of turn. Green, Scaled Nurturer, 2 mana. Creature, Dragon Druid. Tap to add 1 green mana. When you spend this mana to cast a dragon creature spell, you gain 2 life, 0 and 2 creature. White, Soldiers of the Watch, 2 mana, creature, human soldier, double team, 2 and 1 creature. Baleful Beholder, black, 6 mana, creature, Beholder. When Baleful Beholder enters the battlefield, choose 1. Anti-magic Cone, each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Fear Ray, creatures you control gain menace until the end of turn, 6 and 5 mana. Alchemy version is 7 and 5. Beyond that, it's the same thing. Red, Earth Cult Elemental, 6 mana, creature, elemental. Siege Monster. When Earth Cult Elemental enters the battlefield, roll a d20. 1 through 9, each player sacrifices a permanent. 10 through 19, each opponent sacrifices a permanent. 20, each opponent sacrifices 2 permanents. 6 and 6 creature. Blue, Guild Thief, 2 mana. Creature, Orc, Rogue. Whenever Guild Thief deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Cunning action, 4 mana, Guild Thief can't be blocked this turn, 1 and 1 creature. We saw this Druid of the Emerald Grove just before. And a rare wildcard. Hell yeah. Inspiring Bard, green, 4 mana, creature, elf bard. When Inspiring Bard enters the battlefield, choose 1. Bardic Inspiration, target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. Song of Rest, you gain 3 life, 3 and 3 creature. Iron Golem we saw. Poison the Blade. Green, 2 mana, instant, target creature gains death touch until the end of turn, draw a card. I'm not sure if we saw this already. Red, Incessant Provocation, 4 mana, sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. It perpetually gains this creature, attacks each combat if able. And Steadfast Paladin for 2 mana. Creature, Dwarf Knight, lifelink, 2 and 2. creature. Uncommon wild card. And Seek New Knowledge instant, 2 mana blue. Seek 2 non-land cards, then put a card from your hand onto the bottom of your library. And the main card is Shadowheart Sharon Cleric. Legendary creature, human elf cleric, death touch, specialized 2, activate only if a player has 13 or less life. At the beginning of your end step, Shadowheart Sharon Cleric deals 1 damage to each player, 2/2 creature. Specializing into the black version, Death Touch lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, Shadowheart Cleric of Graves deals 1 damage to each player, 4/4 creature. White and black, Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, Shadowheart of Cleric of Order deals 1 damage to each player. Whenever you lose life during your turn, create a 2/2 White Knight creature token, 4/4 creature. Blue and black, Death Touch. Again, 1 damage to each player. And whenever you lose life during your turn, draw a card, 4/4 creature. Black and red, Death Touch. Again, 1 damage to each player. Whenever you lose life during your turn, Shadowheart deals that much damage to each opponent, 4/4 creature. And green and black, Death Touch. Shadowheart, Cleric of Twilight, can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. At the beginning of your end step, Shadowheart deals 1 damage to each player. Whenever you lose life during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Shadowheart. There we are. And the last pack, here we go. Okie dokie. Common wild card. Green Owl Bear, 5 mana, creature, Bird Bear, trample, keen senses. When Owl Bear enters the battlefield, draw a card, 4/4 creature. Black Armor of Shadows, 1 mana, instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible. Red, you find some prisoners, we saw that already. Young Red Dragon, 4 mana, creature dragon, has incited a bathed in gold 2 mana instant adventure, create a treasure token. And the actual card, the creature dragon is flying, young red dragon can't block, 3/2 creature. Alright. And the alchemy version is a 3/1 creature. Beyond that is the same, but it can't, but the blocking restriction is gone though. Okay. Black Skullport Merchant, 3 mana, creature, dwarf citizen. When Skullport Merchant enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. 2 mana, sacrifice another creature or a treasure, draw a card, 1/4 creature. Blue Dream Fracture, 3 mana, instant. Counter target spell. Its controller draws a card, draw a card. And the main card is Vladimir and Godfrey. Well, we got the visual for it, so that's cool. White, 3 mana. Legendary creature, Zombie Knight. Rejuvenation, 3 mana. Return Vladimir and Godfrey from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It perpetually gets +1/+1. Activate only if you control a 1/1 creature. And it's a 3/2 creature, the card itself. Alrighty. There we are. I feel that was pretty fun and feels pretty worth it. After the huge amount of work I put into getting that level 69, nice, I don't really have regrets on starting like basically a couple of days too late to grind hard so I don't get the final pack of the Mastery Pass, but I got so much further than I expected to get. Like, so much further. Like, I'm honestly really proud of that achievement. It was an angry and sad and screamy, sometimes happy, sometimes ecstatically like, yay, experience, but mostly a huge demanding grind of so much time and energy and mental capacity and all of that. I did not honestly at times think I'd get there. And I did, and I'm really happy I did. And I got a lot of cool stuff, including the pets. I'm really happy about those too, because I'm gonna probably put one of those into the pet slot, because I didn't actually own any magic pets before that, so hell yeah. And I don't know how much like in vogue these sort of like opening videos are these days, probably not too much, but just, you know, in case it wasn't clear, like if you are thinking of like, you know, buying something in games, or, you know, buying something with real money that has like a meaning in games, just try to be sensible about using that money and just think really hard if that is definitely worth the cost you're putting into it, and then make the decision with a lot of like time and thought and reasoning and all that good stuff before you know, hit the button and pull the trigger and all of that stuff. Because just in case, just try to be sensible with all of that. I had fun doing this, but it's always, you know, good to find reasonable things to do with your money, like, you know, food and just things that people need. But this was fun for me, though. This was the first time I spent money in Magic, and I got the gems for it just with buying the welcome pack, I think. So, not alone from that, but the others are from like daily deals from time to time, and I think one quick draft gave me a few gems too. But yeah, there we are. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. And if you have, I would appreciate if you'd feel like smashing that like button, like it's a pack you really feel like opening, but it's empty, and it's just like, no, and you just smash it a little bit and stuff. Or well, smash the table next to it because it's empty, so the pack feels still good. But yes, the like button, yeah, the metaphor made perfect sense a moment ago. But yes, and subscribe if you feel like it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And I have a lot of these Magic Let's Play videos, and there's a lot of angry grinding to get to this point. I'm not sure if I'll put this out like really quickly or really late, so the Let's Play videos might still be coming up for a long while once you see this, or you might see this very, 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 very late once where the Baldur's Gate block is like long gone. But either or, I hope you've enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Bye.